Crack and coke, insane desperation. The things we will do are nuts. Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at ya. Check us out on social media. Thank you to everybody following, sharing, liking, commenting. You guys are the best. Thank you. Remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. I've talked about this a lot, of the insane pull of crack and coke and uppers in general. I focus on crack and coke more because that's what I have more experience with, but meth is right in this category. And I actually personally think it's a little bit crazier with crack and coke because meth lasts longer. When you take a hit of crack, that high is wearing off 5, 7, 10 minutes. After 20 minutes, there's nothing. You go into desperation mode. With meth, the high can last hours. You don't go as desperate as quick. Even though a lot of people would argue meth is stronger, sure, I don't disagree with that. They don't go into that desperation mode for more until at least a couple hours later when the high starts to wear off. With crack and IV coke use, it's like every 20 minutes, pure, insane desperation. And here's a story that's gonna, explain some of that. So there was a period of time where I got really bad into crack. I had tried crack a couple times prior. It was what it was. I don't know, the first time nothing happened. The second time I threw up and got high. The third time I got really high. Then, a period of time went by where nothing happened. I didn't use it. I did other stuff, but then all of a sudden, I was with somebody one night who loved it and we used all night. And after that, it was like, I wanted it nonstop. For me, and I'm sure a lot of people, how their addiction worked too. Let me know in the comments if you could relate and this is how yours worked. The first couple nights with this guy, he knew all the people. I didn't know who to buy crack from. I'd never went and bought crack myself. I had a couple of coke dealers, but I didn't know who sold crack. And there was like a different world to me. The coke dealers, some of them stayed in the suburbs. They sold grams and they were sold to, a lot of suburban people and people with money, so to speak. The crack dealers were in the hood and sold dimes and whatever. I mean, you could buy more, but so it was a different world. How it usually always progressed is I had to call him, my buddy, to get it for the first couple times, which sucked because then you're bringing somebody else into it who is probably charging you more. You got to pick up, do whatever. They're making their own money off it. And then, of course, they want to use, whatever. It is what it is. And then, of course, where my brain goes as the person in, active addiction, trying to get as high as possible. Each time we go meet dude, I'm, sticking my head as close as I can to the window and I'm giving a nod and I'm, can I come in with you? Because I want dealer to see my face. And then the next day when I go back solo and say, yo, I just came last night with so-and-so. I remember you. All right, come here. They trust you because you just randomly pull up. They're probably not going to sell to you. I was here last night. Yo, I was here the night before. Yo, remember green car dude? Yo, So, and then I can cut out my friend so I don't need to call him 5 times a day to pick him up and break him off. Progresses where I end up meeting this dude who he was a bad addict himself, but for like 20 years, he ran and sold for a big dealer. So the big dealer had a couple houses on this certain area of Rochester off Bay Street. The dude that I knew, he was probably in his 60s, maybe 50s, looked like he was about 80 from 30 years of nonstop crack use. But people would call, he'd grab it from big dealer, run out, meet you, deliver it, bring money back, and, gets broken off from big dealer. And he did a lot. I mean, he would run all day for this dude. So I meet him through my friends. He ends up trusting me, blah, blah, blah. I start buying from him. Everything went smooth. He had the best stuff in town, at least that I knew of, and whatever. But of course, desperation kicks in. Start dwindling away money. So I go there one night and I buy 40 from him. Everything's fine, use it, got high for a little while, and then run out and desperation mode kicks in. So I had a couple of these which are those fake dollar bills, and they blatantly say on them, you know, this is not currency, but it says right on it, like, this is not currency. First of all, where desperation kicks in, which is insane to me, I remember that night going through my phone book and calling and texting people that I had not talked to in years. People that would imagine just looking through your phone book right now and picking out, like, pick the 20 names you would be your last people you would ever call for anything. And those are who I called. Not because they're unreliable, because of, like, I'm talking like my friend who's got 3 kids right now, who's doing this, professor that I haven't talked to in years that I met once that we don't have any relationship, my second aunt that I see once a year doing, like, some of the numbers of just people that wouldn't even get a call from me anytime regularly, let alone at 2, 3 in the morning begging for money with some insane excuse that I got flat tires, and somehow the other 200 names in my phone book are disappeared. So I'm calling great Aunt Sally, who I haven't talked to in, 3 years. So that was number one. Didn't work out, of course. People can hear it right away. So I get these those fake joke bills and a couple of real ones, and I put them together and try to make it look like it's more money. Call up dude, go to meet him. He puts the stuff, he comes up to the passenger side window, puts his arm in the car, and he usually would just drop the stuff and I'd hand him the money. So I do it, and immediately, as soon as he drops it and I hand him the money, start pulling away, and he knows something's wrong. I totally underestimated this dude, his strength, and just him in general. He is hanging on to the side of the car as I'm pulling away. Yo, I need, you can't do this to me. It's not blah, blah, blah. Screaming at me. I'm trying to claw his hands off. I'm also not trying to hurt this guy or kill him. So I could have sped up and probably either he would have dropped off or whatever, but I didn't want to do that to him because I don't want to kill him and hurt him or whatever. So I'm slowing down a little bit. He surprises me by hanging on with one hand, and using the other, he grabs my hand and pulls the bag out of it while I'm trying to steer and pull him off. So he gets the bag of crack back and drops and is just MFing me, as I pull away. Now I don't even have my $3 or the bag or anything. Here's where even more desperation comes in. 10 minutes later, I'm calling him, apologizing, begging if he'll front me something, just a 20, or if he'll sell me just a 3 bag for the 3 ones I had hidden with the couple fake bills, the 3 real ones. That is pure insanity. Calling the man I almost just tried to kill and rob, 10 minutes later, begging for him to help me. He didn't, but within a couple days, he was selling to me again. He was just a lot more cautious every time and made me hand him the money, checked it, and then gave it back. And actually sat and talked with me. It was like, you know how often that shit happens? You guys get desperate. I get it. I'm a user. But that is the stupid, insane insanity that we go to during addiction. And I can't wrap my head around it sometimes in a sober state because it's so desperate. But we do it.